Hello, welcome back to our show. I am so excited to be here with Gio. Like, oh my God, I can't wait. We're going to start with the Yankees. Gio, take it away, buddy. I'm just going to mute myself.
What are the Yankees doing? This team is currently, as of now, they're 5-9. They've lost 4 straight, including 2 straight in Tampa, who are basically the Yankees' daddies at this point because they can never beat them for some reason, even though the team that lost to Tampa, like Adam mentioned before. I posted this photo back behind me because this is the last time I felt good as a Yankees fan. That's 2009. The Yankees are supposed to be championship expectations or bust every single season. And the one time they didn't have that, they somehow rebuilt to a decent team in 2016. Only to come so close then lose to the cheating Astros in 2017. And ever since then, this core of Yankees talent has been nothing but a giant fat disappointment. Every person that they hyped up to be
Let's not forget you also lost to the cheating Astros in 2019.
Exactly.
You got 2 of them. You got 2. The Rays only got 1, so you guys are a lot more pissed off than we are.
And I'm not even mad about that aspect. It's more of how they've responded both times. Their offense has been flat. The home run or bust has been a complete idea of giant question marks because the offense can't click at all. And the worst part for me is not really the offense because they scored 3 runs today, which is not bad. It's the pitching. You signed Garrett Cole to be the ace of this rotation and think that Severino, when he comes back in July, could be the number 2 guy. Corey Kluber could be the number 2 for the time being. Jamison Tyone could be a number 3 starter. Even though both of these guys haven't pitched in 2 years, let's give them the number 2 and 3 spot in the rotation. And guess what? They suck. Kluber can't pitch in 2021. Why are you doing this? This is one of the worst Yankees starts I've ever seen. This team's done nothing but consistently choke, and not only choke on the field, but choke with the luxury tax. I swear, George Steinbrenner is rolling in his grave right now. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Yankees fan. It's because it's true. He would have fired Aaron Boone. He would have rehired him, would have fired him again, would have rehired him, would have signed every free agent that was available. He would have traded for Castillo before the season started, and they would have won a World Series or at least looked competent. This team is crunching numbers statistically and trying to play analytics by signing all these low-risk, high-reward guys like Kluber was supposed to be, or Mills' favorite player, Aaron Hicks. They deserve to be in last place in the American League. Aaron Judge, the savior of New York, is always hurt. Giancarlo Stanton, or as Mike says, Mike Stanton, same exact issue. Who else? Luis Severino, always hurt, never performs well. Their best playoff pitcher went to Japan because he felt he was getting attacked for he got racially attacked by the fans, who also threw trash on the field recently. The same fans that go 27 rings, bro. None of these teams, of the 27 championship teams, none of these teams would even scoff at this team. They would just laugh at the face of this team. It's almost like their expectations have gone from championship every year to just making the wild card and beating the Twins and hoping they face Minnesota every single year. It's not going to happen. The only way, and I don't care if I sound like a generic homer or somebody that's overreacting, I am not overreacting 2 weeks into the season when this team can't even swing the bats with runners in the scoring position, let alone when you get an extra base runner with no outs in extra innings and you still can't bring him home. Like I said, the only way that this team could even come back and sniff a championship run, let alone sniff the World Series, is if they do something with the staff. This training staff has been horrid the past few years. All of the injuries the Yankees have suffered, all of the terrible games that have been managed by Boone or Cashman needs to go. And before or after you do that decision, you better make some trades. You better hope some pitcher like Luis Castillo is still even available or even decent at that time by the deadline. You better hope that the Dodgers don't re-sign Corey Seager or the Rockies don't move Trevor Story somewhere else. Or you're stuck with terrible defensive Gleyber Torres at shortstop. This team is not clutch. They paid Garrett Cole to be the CC Sabathia of the rotation, but the problem is they can't clone him 4 different times. Their manager is terrible at deciding games in the bullpen, and their GM is so penny pitching that I swear if I find a penny on the floor and I try to go pick it up, he's going to snag it from me and go, oh, look, it's Mike Ford. Let me re-sign him, even though he's batting .210. You want to keep on doing home run or strikeouts, you're going to strike out 9 times out of 10. And that one home run is going to be great to watch when you're losing 12-1. I'll watch a game when you start putting in more effort. Until then, I'm done ranting about this crap.
Oh, Gio, I love you. Yesterday on the broadcast of the Rays-Yankees game, can't remember who came to the plate, but someone came to the plate and was swinging for a home run when they were down 6-0. And Michael Kay, verbatim, that's not an 0-2 swing, that's a 2-0 swing. When you're down 6-0, you can't be swinging for a home run. It's just going to be one run. And what's that going to get you? You need to string together some hits. Michael Kay's words telling the Yankees that what they're doing is dumb. Do you know how bad it is when your biggest supporter outside of John Sterling is like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, it's not him talking about the fans, which I will get to.
Oh, yeah.
It's him talking about his team. As Gio put last week, when the announcers are calling out your own team, that's a problem. Because they are obviously inclined to stay at least a little homer. Speaking of home, it is a shock for a lot of people to hear that I'm from the Bronx, but not really a Yankees fan. To be clear, I loved the Yankees as a kid. I was a huge fan of them as I grew up. I started not to like them after that whole A-Rod stuff with the Red Sox. And then, granted, Sabathia was worth it, but throwing $230 million at him really irritated me. On a quick tangent here, the Yankees are not throwing money at the problem anymore. Good for them. Problem is, you traded off everybody in your farm system, so you can't do things like the Yankees used to. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped liking the Yankees. They didn't grow their talent. They just traded and paid. There was no homegrown talent until Judge, Sanchez, Torres, and the only one left, Brett Gardner. Now, back to my main point. While it is a shock for people that I am not really primarily a Yankees fan anymore, there is one thing I absolutely will not tolerate, and that is people making the Bronx out to be a lot worse than it is. Now, usually I will take shots at politicians, I'll take shots at news organizations because they tend to only focus on the bad stuff. But no. Today, I will be talking about the walking scum that inhabited the socially distant game yesterday, that decided because the Yankees were getting their asses kicked by a superior team, they were going to pelt the Rays with baseballs. Now, I don't know if it was done on purpose or by accident. I'm not going to get into their minds. But the fact of the matter is, and there is video, there were fans throwing stuff and hitting Rays players while they were on the field. I'm not a fan of people throwing stuff onto the field, generally speaking. I can usually forgive it when it's like really an intense occasion, like when the Blue Jays got that 3-run home run in the playoffs, because they weren't targeting, they were celebrating, and it was just like a byproduct. They were still wrong, but it wasn't their first thought, like, yes, let's trash the field. It was, oh my God, they're winning, oh my God. These people, their first thought was to trash the field. The Yankees are trash, so we're going to trash them too. You are not just there as fans. Your game is your team is getting broadcast across the country, probably across the world, and this is what you're showing them. This is not the first time they've done it. This isn't the second time. This isn't the third time they've done it. In my lifetime, it is not even the 10th time they've done it. I was there the first time they did it, and it was when Alex Rodriguez knocked the ball out of Bronson Arroyo's glove. I was there for that. I was there for the bomb squad coming onto the field. And it's a bad look for a team. But most of all, it's a bad look for the Bronx. We don't really need that kind of crap. If you're doing that, while I am pissed that it happened, I would put money on the fact that not a single one of the people who threw stuff on the field is actually from the Bronx. I would put money that they're from New Jersey, they're from Long Island, and they're from Brooklyn. Because for some reason, those people think they have more rights to the Yankees than the Bronxites do. And this is my experience across my life. They do not treat the Yankees with respect. They do not treat the Bronx with respect. And it is not just angering, it is depressing. And the real shame is that they're still going to be allowed to go to these games. And they'll still be allowed to do this the next time they go down 6-0. Congratulations. You are the worst fans in existence. You're worse than Eagles fans, and they ate horse crap after the Eagles won.
They also climbed poles full of, what was it, Crisco?
Yeah, lined with Crisco. Yep.
Yeah.
That's just a feat of engineering. Good for you guys for being able to offset that grease. But who eats crap after a win? Like, what does that do? Oh man, but
I don't know what winning's like. I'm a Jets fan, so I can't tell you.
Well, that will do it for us today. That was a very depressing episode. Gio's depressed the Yankees can't get their stuff together. I'm depressed that people from not in the Bronx want to desecrate the Bronx. It's not a fun time. We'll be here tomorrow talking about fantasy waiver ad drops to target, because what could possibly be more thrilling than 2 0-1 fantasy baseball players telling you who you should pick up? We clearly know what we're doing. How else would we be winless?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see you then.